For No One from Revolver is one of those songs where Paul McCartney just nails the bittersweet vibe of a breakup. It's raw, simple, and brutally honest about that moment when you realize the love is gone.
Your day breaks, your mind aches.
While the Beatles were always pushing the envelope musically, this track hits hard because it's so personal and stripped down. McCartney wrote For No One during a ski trip to Switzerland in March 1966 with his then-girlfriend Jane Asher. At first he called it Why Did It Die, which kind of tells you everything you need to know about where his head was at. He was obviously pulling from his own experience, but what makes the song special is how universal it feels. Everyone's been through that moment when a relationship fades out, and McCartney just captures that perfectly. By that point, McCartney had been with Asher for about 5 years, and like a lot of long-term couples, he probably figured they were headed for marriage. But as the relationship dragged on, it became clear that things weren't working. McCartney described that weird feeling when you look at someone you once loved and realize the spark is completely gone. It's a brutal moment, and he poured that into the song. One of the coolest things about For No One is the decision to use a French horn for the solo. It's not something you'd expect in a pop song, but that's what made the Beatles great. They were always trying new things. McCartney had always loved the sound of the French horn, so he asked George Martin, their producer, if they could make it happen. Enter Alan Civil, one of the top horn players from the Philharmonia Orchestra. What's wild is that McCartney and Martin actually wrote a note into the solo that was higher than the horn's normal range, a high F. When Civil saw the music, he thought it was a mistake, but McCartney and Martin just smiled and said, "Nope, that's what we want." Civil nailed it, proving once again that when you bring in world-class musicians, they can pull off things that seem impossible. Funny enough, after Civil delivered what was clearly a perfect take, McCartney, not fully grasping how good it was, casually asked if he could do it better. Civil, probably holding back an eye roll, had already given the definitive performance, which is what you hear on the record today. And here's a cool technical tidbit. Paul recorded his vocals at a slower speed, 47.5 cycles instead of the usual 50. When they played it back, his voice sounded slightly higher and faster, giving the song that extra touch of fragility. Even John Lennon, who wasn't shy about critiquing McCartney's work, had nothing but praise for No One. In a 1980 interview, he called it one of my favorites of his. The song stands out not just because of the emotional depth, but also because McCartney's vocal delivery is so understated. He's not belting it out, he's almost detached, which makes the heartbreak hit even harder. And the clavichord gives the track its distinct sound. It's not something you hear often, but McCartney wanted something special to fit the vibe. It adds this haunting, old-world feel that matches the melancholic tone of the song perfectly. For No One is one of those timeless songs that gets under your skin. It's a simple track, but every element, McCartney's vocals, Civil's French horn solo, and the understated production, comes together in a way that's both intimate and powerful. Even though it's about a personal breakup, the emotions are universal. Anyone who's ever gone through the end of a relationship can feel what McCartney's saying, and that's what makes this song stand out. It's just another example of the Beatles' ability to take something deeply personal and make it resonate with millions of people.